Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. Today we're going to do an entire face of all new drugstore makeup. Most of it is e.l.f, but I do have some new NYX and L'Oreal. And before we proceed with this, I want to say thank you. Almost all of this was funded by one of you who sent me $75 via PayPal. And thank you so much again. It's because of you I was able to do the video, and I'm so sorry that you didn't get my comment where I thanked you online for it. And if you want to see how this face came together and you want my thoughts on it all afterwards, just keep watching. Okay, I've got a lot of stuff here and just noticed that they sent this to me for free, but I don't like this, and so I got this out of the drawer. So I like the liquid version of Putty Primer. But I don't think we're gonna need either one of these today because I forgot I got the new e.l.f. bronzing drops. Which is terrible because I also got the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation. We're gonna put the primer aside because I wanna try this out first just to see what it looks like for you. I got it in Bronze 1, which is rose gold. Not sure about that. And it says on it to mix a couple of drops with your moisturizer. So I've got the Holy Hydration Daily Moisturizer here. We'll see how that looks. And then maybe I'll put this on the other side. And then I'll probably wipe off one side to even out the look. But I'm curious, right? You are too, right? So let's just see what this is all about. Shake well before using. Add 1 to 3 drops to your favorite e.l.f. skin moisturizer. Okay, so I did good getting the Holy Hydration. But first, let's jump into the eyes. So glad I didn't go ahead and just prime first because it looks like e.l.f. has a new Lock It Down eyeshadow primer. I thought it was going to be a squeezy tube. It's not. It's a little doe foot. Looks like it's probably going to be a clear one. Let's put that on. Wow. I got a little bit much here. Yeah, it's going to be clear. In Indiana, it is hot right now. For sure. So we're hanging out in the house, in the air condition. I go over to my mom's house and, it's quite a bit warmer over there because, well, she didn't grow up with air conditioning, and even after they got it, they didn't get ridiculous. It is freezing in my house half the time because Shy Guy goes outside to smoke and then he comes back in, and so since it's hot outside, he's really hot. So our air is down to like 73 degrees. So that leaves me inside with a blanket most of the time because I don't go outside. I stay on the inside. We're gonna go ahead and stick to primarily what's in the Glitzy Fritzy basket for the eyeshadow, but I did pick up this new eyeshadow stick from L'Oreal, and I think I'll use the E35 from the Glitzy Fritzy Essential Eye Set. Because I'm just gonna spread this first shade all over my crease and up to my brow, so that my shadows blend better. I'm getting a nice little dip in this first shade because I use it every day. Let's take a look at this crayon. Caviar stick, think along those lines. This one here is 120 magnetic, focus, magnetic mauve. So it's kind of gonna go with this palette pretty well, right? Let's get Limit, which is gonna be very light, perfect transition shade. But it's even lighter because I'm going over the top of Strange. It's just a little something, probably nothing anyone would ever notice. It kind of looks like my own eyelids before I corrected them. Now I'm going to take the same brush and just come over to Nooner. I mean, it's all like the same kinds of shades, so I'm not even going to change brushes. There we go. That just deepens that up a little bit. Nooner is probably my favorite. Other than Strange, Nooner is probably my favorite in here. It's a good on the go. Just throw something in your crease and go, right? At noon, making it a Nooner. That's what I'm going with anyway. That's good enough. Let's get the stick. Let's put this right here. This might be something I want to keep in here to use with that palette. Yeah, it kind of looks like the look I did yesterday. And the day before that, and the day before that. I'm sorry. I loved my Naked 3, the original, when I first got it. Because at that time, you know, there wasn't anything like that out. And people just went absolutely crazy. But, you know, we're talking years later. Everybody's mocked all of it to death. And we have all of these shades in other palettes. I'm happy there are no sparkles in this. So this is going to be good as long as it doesn't crease or anything. I will surely let you know it because you know, drugstore is getting kind of expensive these days. I think we're going to jump down into dark side here. Get a little bit of that and just going to tap that into my crease right above where I just went with the L'Oreal stick. It felt like an ant was crawling on me. There wasn't, but it felt like there was. Gosh darn. I just love all the new stuff that's happening to me. I want to take my Pinkie and come into dust and like pack it here on the inner part of this. But if I do that, then I know that shade has little sparkles in it. And you know I detest that, as well as this, the last shade here. But like what I just did, tap that off, that'll get rid of those sparkles in Dark Heart, but not so much on the other one. So I'm just gonna darken this up even more right here at my lid, and that'll make this appear a little lighter. I wish I'd have got 2 of those sticks. One that was lighter, I could have used it on the inner corner. It would appear that I did not get a mascara or an eyeliner. So I guess they didn't have nothing new that appealed to me. So let me be back after, baby back, baby back ribs. Let me be back after I do that, okay? I'll just get my eyeliner, my mascara on. That's boring stuff you don't want to see anyway. What we're gonna do first is use this Holy Hydration. I've never used this stuff before. It does have scent. So if you wanted to know that, I just told you. There is scent to this stuff. Oh, that does feel very hydrating though. Oh my goodness, you know what I was supposed to do was add these drops to that. All right, so we'll just do this side will be that. I'm gonna wipe that off on this side of my face so that we don't get too much. We're doing it exactly the way we were told to do it. And this side, we'll use that foundation. This is nothing new. I used to do this. I don't need that much, do I? Let's get some of that over here. I used to do this all the time. In particular, when I worked at the hospital, you know, like I told you, when my kids were little, I didn't have a lot of money for makeup. And I would just like buy foundation. And what I was doing was making the foundation last longer by diluting it into my moisturizer. One. Come on, it's really hard to squeeze this thing. Let's put the dots here. Oh my goodness. Well, that seems like excessive. That seems like a lot. So let's just blend that together and see what we end up with. It's supposed to have like a bronzing effect. I could see how you could get way too much of this too quick. That is so thin. I think we'll just put it on with our fingers. Okay. So basically a barely there kind of bronzed situation. Summer. It's summertime. Summertime. Yeah. We might be able to get that to be more even if we actually used a brush maybe. But this kind of a thing, I'm real tempted to just do this. And we'll see how that sets down. Didn't L'Oreal have something in a tube like a few years back that was this? It was just like a bronzing thing situation and you put it on and it gave you this look. We'll probably end up, that's the side that we'll take off because the foundation, I'm sure, is going to be more coverage than that, and it'll look stupid. Or maybe you want to know, what does foundation look like over that? I don't know. But yeah, it did bronze up as far as I can tell Just a tiny bit. I wonder what would happen if you put that stuff directly on your face. Like, what if I wanted to contour? Could I, like, put a little bit more on? Let's try that. Okay, so I got just a little bit more on if I wanted to take and use that in more concentration, like there. I don't really like having done that. You know what that reminds me of? When I was a girl, teenager, and my girlfriend started wearing blush. Okay, she was allowed to wear makeup, and she had this blush by CoverGirl, and it was a liquid blush. They've come a long way with liquids and creams since then, but it always looked like that when she put it on. Right, let's try this. So this side has moisturizer on, and I'm anxious to try this. This is called Soft Glam Satin Foundation, medium buildable coverage, long lasting, 1% hydrating hibiscus complex. I have it in light cool number 20. I'm just going to take this little tiny brush of BK Beauty's and let's see. Whoa, that's a lot. I got too much of this. Let me wipe some of that off. We don't need that much. Probably it would be okay for my whole face, but I'm just doing half of my face. I'm not got a new concealer, so I'm just coming up underneath my eye with this. Now, right off, I'm going to say this looks fantastic, but of course it would next to that mess. I'm not saying that those drops wouldn't be beneficial, okay, but not for me. I can tell you right now, I don't like it. All right, and now I'm going to take the sponge and just kind of even out. I like the way that looks. e.l.f. makes a little $5 foundation that's not too bad. It lasts about 4 hours on me before I don't like it anymore. Which, you know, is unacceptable for the most part. But sometimes you are just gonna make a quick go somewhere. Why waste your good foundation? Just put that on. And the original camo, I think I liked for about the same kind of a deal. Maybe, you know, just a quick whatever. But the new one that they recently brought out not that long ago, I didn't care for that. Do you guys want to know what this looks like over the top of that? Does it really look any different? Let's try to get less and come over the top of this. I mean, we can always wipe it off. I don't think you can tell that big of a difference. So I'm probably not going to wipe it off. But I don't really like these. You know, gosh, look what it did to my hair right there. It reminds me of QT tan. We get those streaks on you. Boy, self-tanners have come a long way too in 30 years, right? And here I'll point out that editing Mary, and I'm sure you see the mess on the side of my face from this because I can't see the side of my face. But filming Mary doesn't notice that there's still dark spots from the stuff on the side where I didn't get it blended in well. This doesn't look bad. Which doesn't mean anything, because a lot of times I'll put on something and it doesn't look bad at all, but give it a few hours. All right, now I went ahead and I got their halo powder. I had this before and I ended up decluttering it. It is not because it's not good, it's very good, but I would hesitate to use this stuff over my pores, but a lot of people do. To me, this is more of an outskirt of my face powder, kind of like an hourglass situation, where it's a nice finishing powder. So we're just gonna reach into the Glitzy Fritzyville basket just because I don't want to come over my face. So I'm just gonna use my Laura Geller lightly because the Laura Geller foundation looks great. I don't want it to change. Just very light dusting of that powder because I don't want it to change that foundation. We'll come back to this. NYX came out with new blushes and bronzers. They're called Buttermelt. And let's get the bronzer first. Questionably light, sort of like this new YSL that I picked up not that long ago. See, look. I like that because I can get out of control with it and it's never gonna be too much. I decided to use these big old Sydney Grace ones. I like those. And let's come into this bronzer and see. Oh, okay. See, it looks light in the pan, but ooh, I got out of control there. And I do know there is a big majority of you that would not think that was out of control. But for me, it is. I really don't need blush now. But we're gonna do it anyway because it's new and I wanna know. Woo-wee! That's the shade I got. In the pan, it looked like that wasn't gonna show up, but it did. Let me blend that back a little bit, oh, for Pete's sake. Then I got 2 of these blushes and no, oh no, that's broke, that broke. I'll be right back. I'll tell you what, a little bit of that really has some pigment in it. And I'm gonna assume because that did, and so did that bronzer, that this one is gonna pack a punch too. Let's open it over the trash can. Look how, the other one actually did look more like what I like. I'm not gonna use the Sydney Grace brushes after all. Obviously with these I need something more airy. Switching gears here. That does feel buttery, very buttery. To be very careful here. I don't know that that luminosity is coming from this blush. Let's see, because the Laura Geller went down there, if you remember, and it does have a luminosity to it, but it would appear that this does also. So I can't say I'm enjoying the way these blend. That looks like, to me, the first time I applied blush, and I didn't know how to do it. It's, oh my. I look like I'm gonna go work at the Moulin Rouge. And if you remember, this was the foundation brush. I'm just taking the residual of it and going over the top of this blush, and wow. I'm gonna get just a tiny bit more of this foundation and knock that back. Woo! So I would like not do my brows on camera because this is not new. I've been talking about this for years. The e.l.f. pencil, it to me makes no sense why this works because it's so big and fat, but it does. Well, what I want to do is they have this new brow setting situation, and I think that this is supposed to be a brow laminating gel, it says on there. I think this is supposed to be maybe even trying to dupe. Look, it's got this comb situation going on, and of course you're going to open it up and you got another spoolie on the inside, and now the product that I think it's duping or trying to is Too Faced, and that does not work if you try to put it on first with a pencil. It works like that with a pen, but not a pencil. So we're not going to do that. Okay, we're going to put on the brow, and then we're going to go over it with this. So let's get the pencil on first. This pencil is really good for quick application. I think e.l.f. does pretty good in the brow department. I like this. I like their micro pencil. Together with this, you can draw hairs in the front. You can swipe this through really quick. I personally think that if you have brows, if you actually have brows, you don't need to cover skin with a brow product. If you can find it in your shade, why spend more money? Use that money on a better bronzer or something like that and just get this e.l.f. pencil. That's all I'm gonna do for now because I wanna skip to this really quick. This seems like a pretty thick product. Did you see that? Look at how thick that is. I'm gonna put this up here. Now they already have a good product that I think dupes out ABH's. It's in a pot, it's clear, put it on. It does a pretty good job, I like it. So I imagine I'm gonna like this. Imagine they're doing an excellent job at duping people. Now, how you feel about that, I don't know. On the one hand, I'm like, yay, I didn't want to pay for Charlotte Tilbury. On the other hand, I kind of feel for Charlotte Tilbury because, you know, of course, they had to perfect everything, including the packaging and everything else. They went through all the trials of doing that. And then along comes a company, and all they have to do is break down the product, reverse engineer it, right? Reverse engineer it. As a retiree going into a limited budget, I really appreciate being able to get the same quality quality stuff. Yeah, this acts just like the Too Faced. If you get too much of it, it's going to start balling up. So we're going to stop at my brows right there. Right, that really just leaves my mouth. And so, you know, they've been banging out, like everybody else, lip products left and right. This is the Sun Boss Gloss. It is a sunscreen. Let's see, because you guys know I've been on the hunt for lip sunscreen, and I bet I spent almost $70 buying all the ones that you guys told me to buy. Seeing which ones I like best, I'll let you know. Let's see what e.l.f. did here, whether or not it's going to taste like sunscreen, because this truly is a tinted sunscreen. They have it in a few different shades. This one is a very natural shade for me. What I'm looking for is natural lip color and enough color to cover that sunspot. It's sticky, so it's gonna stay here. No strings. The video I put out before this one, I had a hard time covering where there were strings, okay, from my lip plumper. No strings. When I go do my hair, there will be enough time to let me know whether or not that's going to be something that's like, ugh, I can taste the sunscreen. Now, truthfully, probably the reason I got this powder again was because of these. Look, these are so small. You get 3. They're little e.l.f. puffs, but they're not the size of my other ones. These are just like little finger ones. They're thicker. They're not as squishy as the other puffs that I have are. But look how tiny. So perfect for getting under your eyes, right? You get 3 of them. That is probably truthfully why I went ahead and got this powder, because I definitely don't need it today, but I want to use these powder puffs. Let's take a little bit of it on this puff and go on my nose to highlight with this powder. I don't think I needed to be afraid to do that. That powder does have some shine to it, but not near as much as I thought. So I can use it in my T-zone to set, and it didn't do what I thought. I'll tell you what I thought it was going to do. Watch what the Laura Geller one does. Got it on my brush. See that little bit of shine? That's what I thought was going to happen. I will have to try that. I certainly do like it on the outskirts of my face, but maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing. I have not given this powder its due. It is an excellent setting powder, and it's perfect. I mean, it doesn't have too much shine at all. And I've been using it the rest of the week to make sure, and I can use it with a puff, and I can use it with a brush, and I can use it in a car, and I can use it on a train. You guys know I love this setting spray by e.l.f. It's in the Glitzy Fritzyville basket, but apparently they have a new one here. It is the, I don't know what that says, Power Grip Dewy. Oh, shockingly fine mist. That is very fine. Look at that. So fine. I've been having a problem lately with setting sprays that say, it did splurt out a big one right there, but setting sprays that say matte and they're actually not, they're actually dewy. So this is Power Grip. Let's just go ahead and put a little bit on. I'm gonna go pull my hair up somehow and I'll be back and we'll talk about everything I just did. I'll tell you what, I mean, look at the mist on that. That is really fine, and yet it does have the capability of splatting. I've not had that problem with this one, or I don't think anyway. We'll see how those dry down and we'll come back to that thought in just a little bit, but let's talk about this. So it's gotten in my mouth. There's no taste to this that I can detect. There is a film, okay, that can get on your tongue, but I would say that most of you don't run around eating your sunscreen the way I do. I'm constantly licking my lips. So it's really important to me whether I can taste the sunscreen or not. But this I can't, and has a broad spectrum SPF of 25. And I got a very natural shade, which you can see the spot just a little bit when I put it on. But I got nothing bad here to say about this. It says the active ingredient is 10% zinc oxide. So yeah, I tend to like the mineral sunscreens, and zinc oxide is one. So these have pretty much dried down. Let's see. One of them is not any more shiny than the other one. The one over here is the new one, the Power Grip, and it feels like there's nothing there. This does feel like there's something there. But I did it just a few minutes ago, so maybe that will go away. I'll tell you what. It does have a shockingly fine mist. It's finer than this one even. Time will tell which one I like the best, but they do both impart a little bit of a sheen. this here, it's not been but maybe 20-30 minutes since I put it on, and I don't know if it's going to crease. It has not done it yet. I certainly do have something for it to crease on because my eyelids aren't smooth. There is still color there. You can see I've got a little bit on my finger from wiping it off, so I'll let you know. I'll do a voiceover if, I'll just say if, because I know people don't like voiceovers, but see, it did pull some of that off there. I will do a voiceover if it creased. If not, then you can just assume that this would be a very good product for you to have. This one anyway. I don't know. They may have some that have sparkles in it, but I like it. I think it looks very nice. I would buy it again in a different color, a lighter color. This does feel and hold very well. You can see it is holding and giving movement, but keeping them in place. It has a more waxy feel to it, I think, than the Too Faced does, but I would feel comfortable purchasing this instead of the Too Faced one because it's less money and it's very much built to be just like the one that they made. The eyeshadow Lock It Down. So far I don't have a problem with it, and the shadows did blend nicely over the top of it. If that changes through the day, it doesn't actually hold on to my shadows. My shadows start, talking about these here, start fading away or whatever, I will let you know. But for right now, I'm gonna say, I think that this is a good little primer. It might even be the same one they had before, just packaged different. I don't know, because I never gave e.l.f. much of a shot earlier on in my channel. This powder, though, let's settle it once and for all. I'm going to get this. This is my normal velour puff that I use. I'll tell you about the differences between those in just a few minutes. I'm going to put this over the top of my pores and look at it in the 10 magnification mirror. This seems to be doing an okay job pressing it in like I do my other powders. And there's not too much shine. This is my normal velour puff, and this is the new little cute e.l.f. ones, which is so cute, isn't it? But look at this. Okay, there's a lot of give to this velour puff, and there's not so much with this. There's a lot of padding in this little puff, and it would serve best, I think, going underneath the eye, probably what it's for. But it's not as pliable, I guess, as this one. I like this kind of a puff to where I can just wad it up and, right, not inside this. It's just so more stiff. But it's cute, and I'm sure, you know, after I work with it for a little while, maybe wash it a few times, it will probably be just fine. But right out of the container it comes in, I think they need to be roughed up a little bit. The surface of it is not actually the same as a velour puff. That probably had something to do with the way it applied. I don't know if you could tell by that or not, but it's kind of like this is the softest velvet ever, and this is like a towel, a soft towel. Okay, so that probably had something to do with why I didn't like the way it put on. The moisturizer, I thought that felt really good going on. It sank into the skin. It wasn't greasy. I think this makes a good daytime moisturizer. I would not use it at night. I don't think it's hydrating enough for me at night. These bronzing drops, don't like them. Sound off below. Do you like these? I think that they are streaky. But so far I do like this. And I like the finish that this has, and it feels great on my face. It's a medium build, so that's my favorite. You know, I don't like full coverage at all. Lightweight's a little too light. I like medium. Again, I'll voice over that and let you know if anything on that changed, but I like this. I think it's on par with a lot of foundations that I like. So the Soft Glam Satin Foundation so far is a winner, but these I don't like. I don't like them at all. I don't like how they go on. As you saw, one of them is broke, and that's the one I probably would have liked. These shades are funny. This one here is Butta with time. For the Butta. Buttercup. They're all some butter. This didn't look like it was going to do much, right? In the pan, this new YSL one doesn't look like it's going to do much either. But the Butta one, as you saw, really did. I mean, it's obviously darker than this one. This actually did pack a punch when it went on, and it looked a little orange, even though I don't think that looks orange in the pan. But since I have this out, let me show you this in comparison to my favorite Charlotte Tilbury. This one here is my favorite bronzer by Charlotte Tilbury, One of the things that I love about it is that I can take a big brush and build it up and it not get out of hand ever because of how light it is. I go in a few times, really load up that brush and go over, and it gives just the tiniest bit of bronze, which is what I like. This one is the 01 in the YSL, and this one is also 1 in Charlotte Tilbury. Well, have you tried any of this stuff? Let me know what your thoughts on it are. And I want to let you know that if you go be a blessing to somebody today, just be good to somebody today for no reason and see how that makes you feel inside. All right? If the Lord's willing, I'll see you next time. All right? So, love to see ya.